Hello all, this is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. I'm out on my jog and I thought this would be really cool to show you. It's really dusky at this morning, but you could see these deer. I don't know if you could see that right there. There's deer that are out there. And I was thinking about machine learning as I was going past this and augmented reality and where technology is going. As you don't know, I'm actually associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. Because there are so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor forward and help you out. So yesterday I attended an interesting session at the Academy of Management. I'm not sure how many of you were there and you saw that, but it was all about the ethics of machine learning, and there was some discussion about where things are going with machine learning and the sort of ethical implications of it. And don't get me wrong that there's a lot of ethical implications behind machine learning and understanding what it's going to do. But the reason why I was thinking about these deer is now we're at a point in time in probably about 20 years, 30 years, where somebody is going to create some sort of machine learning algorithm as well as an augmented reality algorithm that's going to be built into your cell phone that is going to look at what biologists do and understand the movements of the deer and give you understanding into what is going on in the minds of the deer, or how they're sort of relating. Maybe we don't never understand the minds of a deer, but we understand how they're sort of communicating to each other. And it's all going to be done on our cell phone. It seems like a really cool sort of thing that could happen where we can start understanding the reality around us a little bit better by processing the information that we have access to and we're sort of accumulating at this moment within science, within technology, and we can bring this all together and have some sort of some application that is able to process that. Now, I think this is an entirely sort of cool sort of perspective where you can do things like that and build it all in, so we can have a better understanding of not only technology as we understand it, like innovation, for example, or information technology, things like that you'd think about in terms of technology, but machine learning and augmented reality are going to help us understand the natural reality a little bit better. The other thing that it can do, if you can do that with deer, you'll be able to do that with humans. So we'll be able to communicate a little bit better by processing emotions and understanding sort of what people are actually truly understanding behind them. And so if we have access to this, it sort of brings up a tremendous amount of sort of uncertainty, I guess, and ambiguity in terms of what this actually means for human beings. It's a little bit frightening for many of us to sort of think about this because the world is changing. Well, there's kind of a reality behind that is that we have billions of people on this earth, and we have many different countries, and no matter how much we want to stop this kind of development, so if we stop it so I live in the United States at this moment, if we stop it in the United States, somebody in Canada is going to see this information or see this ability and actually do this. So it doesn't matter how much sort of regulations you have and the sort of stopgaps that you have, it's going to happen. And we have to understand what is going to go on behind the sort of ethical considerations of this. Now, a lot of this wasn't talked about in Academy and Management when we had this sort of discussion, but we have to sort of think about this, what we want in terms of a society and how we're going to sort of manage that. So we're going to have to think about sort of regulatory authorities within different regions and sort of understand what it actually means and put together, people that are going to analyze algorithms and understand what different algorithms are. And the economy is going to change quite dramatically in the next little while because of machine learning. And where it's going to change, I think the sort of biggest things you're going to see is not necessarily in the sense that we're going to see more sort of cool machines and robots and stuff like that. But I think what we're going to see is greater understanding of human beings in the natural world, where we will be able to communicate and understand what is truly going on behind people and the natural world, which I think is a really interesting idea because, a lot of people are sort of thinking about the sort of negative implications of this. However, this brings up a lot of positive implications because there's a lot of people that are, even though that we are connected in this world through different various devices and stuff, we're still pretty sad as human beings. When I'm going through the reciprocity, if you go onto the YouTube channel, there's some of the biggest videos that get the most amount of views are ones about dealing with things like depression and things like that. So if we can build this in terms of better communicating and understanding, and I don't know what it's going to look like. It could come across as some sort of application. It could come across as it's built behind Facebook, where they start sensing these kind of information or sensing this information, which it might be already doing right now. I don't know. However, we need to start doing these things to become better and more self-aware with what we're actually doing as people and how we're actually communicating with the world. So I think in the next 20 to 30 years, we're going to see some really profound effects. It's not going to be like what you think it's going to be. It never is. It comes across as something that's really simple, where we're going to see something that is incredible, and we're going to get some real insight in who we are as individuals and as who we are within the natural world. And hopefully we'll begin to solve some of these larger problems, such as large amounts of loneliness that we all deal with. How to actually, as scientists and professors or whoever you are that's watching this channel, how do we actually do better science without having these sort of emotions behind that? And if we can create applications and different software and stuff to deal with these kind of things, the sort of day-to-day life, we can really improve our day-to-day potential that we have as human beings. So that's all I want to say. I think it's kind of an interesting concept in terms of thinking about machine learning. I think that there's a long ways to go. However, we're going to start seeing some really incredible things with the processing power that we have, the information, the sort of information telecommunications that we actually have now, that I can actually communicate with you. It was really cool. So just be interested in what's going to happen, and don't be afraid. I think far too many of us are afraid of these kind of things. I think we have to take it seriously and really understand what the risks are, and really, bring in personnel and managers that are managing the risks of these kind of things. However, I think that there's a tremendous amount of potential that we can gain from that. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to give, anyways, so take care and have a wonderful day. Oh, and what I wanted to wrap up with, sorry about the awkward transition. What I want to wrap up with is just letting you know that what I talked about in this video is machine learning and sort of the ethical implications of it and where we might actually go, and some incredible things that we actually can look forward to. So take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.